We are back with another edition of Fantasy Inter-Hebrides Monday with my buddy Tom. I'm John. I'm old. I play video games, and we talk about politics and what have you. So, Merry Christmas, Tom.
Merry Christmas to you, sir. Today will be a very special MCU episode of The Witcher.
Yes, if you don't pay attention to the titles of old streams that you happen to come across, or or the spoiler warning is nigh.
You should put a note in the chat as well, John.
That is true.
If you don't want MCU spoilers,
give me a moment here.
So the only MCU property that I have not seen yet, besides some of the Netflix series stuff, is Eternals, which I just looked it up, and it comes to Disney Plus on January 12th. So I will definitely be checking that out in 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's odd where that one fits in, and I really enjoyed it.
I've heard it's very good, so I'm looking forward to it. I am definitely looking forward to the build-up that it has for some other characters.
See, the tricky thing is I look at all of these different Marvel properties, right? And I was talking about this with my dad over Christmas, because like this was the kind of stuff that that I got taunted for by my family. Now, and that's not like oh, feel sorry for me. My parents were so mean. Oh, there we go. Mockery is how my family shows affection. I mean, Tom, you're familiar with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've called you short pants for well over a decade now.
Yeah, just about.
So like my love of comic books was something that that I got kind of like, you know, I was a nerd to my peers and the object of good-natured ribbing from my family. Like I never escaped the laughter, right? Which, you know, again, it was a weird time culturally. And I think it helped, you know, breed a sense of unassailable and frankly undeserved confidence. That is the hallmark of who I am, deep down in my core. All right, what were we doing? I
do not remember at all.
You left early.
Yeah.
And I found a cave. But it is a cave that I do not know how to enter.
Oh, you're going to come back there.
So don't bother with this yet.
Correct. Yeah, that cave is going to be part of a quest.
That cave will be part of a quest.
Yeah, you'll come here with Yennefer later on.
Okay. Then I will head to this custom marker, and that will be it for Uriala Harbor and Yingvar's Fang. Alright, I just have to not fall into the giant hole. Anyway. So, like, comics was a thing that I unashamedly and like, unabashedly love, right? Because when you're getting it both from, you know, your peers and your family, at some point you go like, okay, maybe I should either, you know, you kind of go, should I stop reading comics? Or you lean hard the other way and go, I love this with my entire being, and I am, you know, my dad's gonna be like, oh, so what's the deal with this guy? You shoot laser beams from his eyes? Original. And I'll be like, blast the concussive force. So I know all the stupid trivia. I know all of the, you know, all of the obscure characters. This has been my jam.
A side note, John.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that hair run in between Geralt and the wolf that you were fighting? Like, oh god, I'm in the wrong neighborhood.
I
like,
tried.
It ran right in between the two of you.
I tried to pay my respects. That wolf killed it as it was diving for me. Yeah, so like my boy Tommy knows, always read comics. But so, you know, like this was, if I go to see an Eternals movie, I can't just go see it as a movie. You know, like I can't just go and look at it and be like, oh, the cinematography is excellent. And as somebody who got equally as invested in like acting in the theater, like the difference between a high quality performance versus a good like portrayal of a character is really tricky to lock down.
Yeah. Get it.
So I'm trying to think of the best way to like encapsulate this without rambling for a full 10 minutes before getting to the point. There's more echidnas over there, and I should not traverse this mountain.
You definitely should not run off the edge.
I will not run off the edge. So, where was I? Yeah, so, really...
You can't just see a Eternals movie as a movie.
Right, so like if I see an Eternals movie, and, you know, it's like a tight, espionage kind of thing, I'm going to be like, all right, that may have been a good espionage movie, but it wasn't the Eternals, you know? And this is where things fell short in a lot of cases with the Netflix stuff. Tommy says, quick question after you make your point, recast T'Challa, yes or no? Oh, we'll get into that.
I mean, no.
Hang on. We will discuss this in depth because this does tie to the point. Cool guys don't look at explosions. The tricky part about this, as I believe that I've said before on various streams, I'm a gigantic Iron Fist fan. The Iron Fist Netflix show had the exact wrong kind of tone. And it didn't find the right kind of tone until near the end of season 2, right? Now he was the perfect characterization in The Defenders, but you shouldn't have to take 2 seasons before a character like really starts to show who they are. You know, like that's not a good way to tell a satisfying narrative. Let me check my map real quick. So like it's also the kind of thing that you can't lay the blame squarely on, like, oh, this was poorly written or it was poorly directed. You can't just lay it on one person because, you know, like, it takes an entire village to screw this up. Finn Jones didn't do the homework, and when everybody else was doing their martial arts training, he was growing a 90s goatee and not working out. My dude, you're supposed to portray one of the best martial artists in the Marvel Universe. Do some crunches. Because no one's going to be convinced if you show up and you're, like, very slowly doing Tai Chi, and then it cuts to, you know, like, obvious stunt doubles in the scenes. Man, don't accept the role of a martial artist if you're not going to learn the martial arts.
I mean, it definitely does say something when the pint-size British lady is obviously better trained.
Right, like, clearly who we should be watching in this show. But I don't know that this was, like, pitched to him as a as a martial arts thing, right? Like, I don't know if Finn Jones' agent called him up and said, hey, Netflix, doing the Marvel series, you know, they want you, you know, like put in this audition for the job, and see if you can't find, you know, the role. Oh yeah, what is it? Corporate drama. You'll be playing a billionaire who crash landed in the mountains. Okay, now I don't know if that's what he was pitched. Because that's the whole, like, vibe of the first half, right? It's like a family estrangement drama.
Yeah.
Which, when I think of, you know, the immortal Iron Fist, the protector of Kunlun, he who bears the chi of Xiao the Undying, dragon at the gates of the 7 cities of heaven. When I think of that guy, I think of boardroom meetings and long sullen stares. Like, it's the wrong show, my guys. You just gotta, it has a built-in fan base. Just read the comics and go, okay, what story are they telling? And how do we do that cinematically?
Like, the whole billionaire leaves for a decade and then comes back and there's problems with that, was done better with Arrow.
Yes. And that was the wild thing, is that like that was common enough as an origin story to have become a trope by then. You know? Like no Iron Fist fan, right? And I speak, like I feel like they should have just did Defenders and had Iron Fist debut there. Like they were trying to get these out in an order that would build hype, and I think they messed that up.
Especially given what the plot of the Defenders is, it would have been better to just roll into it straight from the end of Daredevil season 2.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so I will give my remind me of this, because I do want to answer Tommy's question. But remind me of my like how I would fix the Netflix shows, which is going to become perhaps presciently relevant here in a bit. I just want to check this place out and make sure I'm not missing like a treasure chest or something.
Before we get into that,
mm-hmm.
can we throw down some spoilers and talk about some Spider-Man?
Almost. I need to get to I need to get this. So sometimes it's a failure of like corporate intervention, right? Netflix didn't think that a mystical kung fu show would sell, so they pitched it as a tight family drama. That's a problem with marketing mostly, right? Sometimes,
especially given how well Marco Polo has done.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
But sometimes you have an actor who hits the mark so perfectly that they get attached to that character forever. No Iron Fist fan would be heartbroken if Finn Jones got recast. Okay? None of us would mind. If Finn Jones didn't show up in Iron Fist season 3, hypothetically, or didn't make a cameo in Shang-Chi 2, which you're caught up on Shang-Chi as well, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. It was
good deal. Like nobody would cry themselves to sleep at night. I completely lost my train of thought as to where I was running, so let me get a big green marker to remind me.
I think you were trying to get off the island.
Yeah. I bypassed that little thing. Eat food. Nope, that's not food. That's killer whale. I am Fortune's fool. Sometimes, but
now you can breathe air.
Yeah, I'm doing great. But like sometimes you run into like somebody that so perfectly typifies a role that you're like, no matter what, we're going to hang on to that guy, right? Like this is what we see with guys like Paul Bettany, right?
Oh yeah,
Paul Bettany.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr.
as Tony Stark. Right.
You can't recast it.
Right. But like Paul Bettany started off as just like, okay, we'll have the computer do a voice, and Paul Bettany will do a couple of lines that he can just phone in, and and it's fine. And in interviews, Paul Bettany was like, I was about to like end my career because nobody was giving me any roles. And then I got like this little like pittance from Disney, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like okay, now he's rebuilt a career and done some phenomenal work. All right, we've got a new place that gives us I can get another haircut. Blacksmith and quests. All right.
Oh, I know where you are.
I'm in Clan Brockvar.
Yeah, go back to your map real quick.
Uh-huh.
You gotta wait for it to catch up. Hold on.
Yeah. But so like sometimes, you know, it's a
okay, do you see that zoom in? Do you see that big building to your like northwest?
Yep.
That is going to be the site of one of the creepiest Witcher hunts in the entire game.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're gonna get a quest to do a hunt that involves that place, and it is super creepy,
super spooky. Okay, well then I will check the other quests and poke around some places of interest before undergoing that. I gotta finish this thought. I gotta do it. Okay. Marker undiscovered location. All right. So the the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in terms of like remaining coherent is that they have figured out that different stories are told through different types of characters, right? Like they've kind of clocked onto that. So like Captain America Civil War is a distinctly different movie than Guardians of the Galaxy.
I sorry to interrupt your thought again, John, but before you close out this screen, after you're done with your thought, you should read this text.
Of the many demons which reside in the outer spheres, hymns are among the most dangerous. Other demons usually must take concrete living form, be it man or beast. Hymns, on the other hand, appear in a world in their own material form, which is invisible to all save their chosen victims. Hymns feed on fear, regret, a sense of guilt, and a word on negative emotions, and since they are eternally hungry, they provoke these emotions in humans. They torment the demons, cannot be exorcised. A man of hymn takes as a victim's life, and will inevitably succumb to madness and the death.
That will come up later.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like a, you know, like the way to go. But so like you can get these different characters that typify the type of story that you need to tell, right? So so Shang-Chi, the movie, was a fantastic Iron Fist story. It is what Iron Fist should have been. And I certainly don't begrudge, you know, Shang-Chi. It's not like, they stole my Iron Fist story. I loved it. And I was like, see? There is a market for it. You know, like, people, you can tell these stories. It's okay. They won't pillory you. They will pay you a lot of money to see these kind of stories. Also, check it out. Asian people like comic books. Make more of these. You know, like comics are for everybody. Comics are universal, and you should tell all different kind of comic book stories because it is culturally important to people. So this is what I'm getting at with Tommy's question before I leave this shot, because it's going to get a little bit heavy and it's going to get a little bit deep. So like I'm not going to run around or do anything. I think that it is important that they do not recast T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman was one of those people that once he embodied that role, you cannot imagine anybody else as T'Challa. And his death was so, you know, it wasn't the kind of thing that he talked about. It happened so suddenly, you know, because he kept working through the illness.
It happened suddenly for us, but
it happened
he
suddenly
kept it in
for
the
us.
background for a long time.
He was fighting it like for like 6 years. And if you go back and watch the progression, you can see you can see the scenes where he is starting to lose weight, where he's not able to fend it off anymore. His death seems sudden to us, and because of that, it hurt really bad, because he was the perfect T'Challa. He was an amazing Black Panther. And I say this from the perspective of somebody who fell in love with those, with comic books, and that meant that I threw myself into the history of comic books, those old, the old 60s back issues and reprints. I read a lot of Black Panther, and Chadwick Boseman was a perfect T'Challa. So it felt like my heart was being crushed when we saw the news that he had died. And I am not the audience for the Black Panther stories. When Black Panther came out, it was it kickstarted a revolution. It was the first superhero movie that was primarily people of color and primarily Black.
Mostly non-American actors too.
Right. I mean, like you can name a whopping 3 white people in Black Panther if you are like a trivia nerd who's like, who are these guys? But people that had never gotten into comic books got into Black Panther. And it was an amazing, unifying time. I saw it in theaters twice, and each time I was one of the few white people in the theaters, and you could look around you and see people like dumbfounded that they actually put in the time and effort to do things like the lighting, right? So it is harder to light dark skin on film than it is for light skin. It's a lot harder to do color corrections because there's such a variance in tone, right? So it's a lot easier and cheaper to light movies that have a predominantly white cast, because you can put them all in the same basic foundation and call it a day. You can't do that with the skin tone of African people. There's too wide a variance. Now it doesn't mean that it can't be done. It just means that it's more time consuming. You have to change different gels. You have to adjust different settings, and it takes skill to do it right. And the worst parts of the Black Panther movie were the parts where they covered the actors' faces. The worst parts, hands down. It was a beautifully done, moving, epic drama, and you saw people latch onto it, and everybody in the theater was just enwrapped by this performance. And Chadwick Boseman was the Black Panther. And if you just take somebody else that looks like him and say, we're going to continue to tell the stories of T'Challa as, you know, this is the guy who is now, you know, playing T'Challa. Even if they did it with like the most respectful way that they could, it would not be the same. It would not be the same. And it would ring hollow no matter how hard they tried. And not just to the comics fans either, right? But Black Panther is a story about legacy. And Black Panther is a story about history and about loss, about that history being taken away.
I mean, a thing to bring up would be the fact that for all it is a very advanced and egalitarian society, even with the Dora Milaje, it's still a somewhat patriarchal society. And going through the story of Shuri becoming the Black Panther will be an interesting story to tell.
Well, I think that it would have been an interesting story to tell.
If the actor wasn't a crazy anti-vaxxer.
I think that Letitia Wright done screwed that right up for herself. I mean, look, if you're gonna go cash the Disney check and Disney says get the vaccine, you might really want to consider getting the vaccine. My personal thoughts. But what I think they should do in light of that is I think that they should make the next, you know, the Wakanda Forever. I think that they should make that about how Wakanda as a nation handles the death of T'Challa. I think that they should focus on that. I think they should focus on the fact that it is a tragedy when you lose one man, and especially a man that is dear. Especially when you lose, you know, a king, and this is not, you know, this is not meant to be specifically gendered, but that a king is not a nation. And the nation will endure. And I think that, I mean, this is Ryan Coogan is the director. I believe I have the name right. Also did Creed. This is a man who understands legacy, and he understands that, like, you can't. I don't think that you can put somebody where Chadwick Boseman stood. You have to tell a new kind of story. You have to tell the kind of story that that the nation needs. You have to tell the story of hope in the face of great loss. You solidify a legacy. So no, I don't think they should recast T'Challa. I think that they should make M'Baku the next Black Panther. I think that he should take up the mantle right up until Letitia right up until she like kind of comes to her senses. Okay. I think I got the point. Let me keep it with the chat. Lupita and Donna are gorgeous and all light. See your point. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I can see both sides of the argument because the Black Panther is also a symbol, right? But T'Chaka was the Black Panther before him. You know, it's the Black Panther is a mantle. And I just hope that they man, I have faith that that one will be done well. I think there's too much writing on it. You know what I mean? I could sell that sword for a cool grand. All right. Farewell.
Farewell.
Right, right. Like, never thought I would see the day when somebody would say M'Baku should be the Black Panther. Right? The man-ape? Oh, problematic. Like, but that being said, the portrayal in the MCU was phenomenal.
Also, the actor is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Was it Winston Duke?
Yeah.
Yeah, Winston Duke as M'Baku. I was like, guys, they made me like the man-ape. Oh, I was reading those comics in 1980, and I was like, this part's a little bit racist. Yeah, Winston Duke is one of the new faves. We love it. We love to see it. Okay, so I have. Where's the? This is a the Witcher contract, right? The Here Comes the Groom. Yeah, let's ask Kivan about the contract. All right. But let's see. What was your other question? You had another. Oh, you want to talk about Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you are the kind of person that will get sassy if you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, and you're the kind of person that'll get sassy if we talk about major plot points. If you have avoided the internet up until now, this is your last chance to turn back. Also, how did you find this channel? You must be Amish. Spider-Man No Way Home. Tom.
Okay, let's set some ground rules for discussing this thing. To keep things simple, let's use the same system that they used in the movie. Tom Holland Spider-Man is Peter 1.
Tobey Maguire was Peter 1. Tom Holland was Peter 2.
I could have sworn that Tom Holland referred to himself as Peter 1.
No, actually, like, both of them referred to themselves as Peter 1.
Okay.
Yeah, that was another fun little joke. But yes, I will be calling them by their last names.
Okay.
But yes, that was another little dig.
So let me just bring up my absolute favorite thing in that movie. I loved that they showed. Well, so from a meta standpoint, not this is the point I was going to make was going to be about the actual like story.
Yeah.
But from a meta standpoint, the actors were on point with their characters. Like everyone was 100% back in the swing of playing those characters from their initial portrayals of them, and it was fantastic.
Tom,
seeing Willem Dafoe go all in on Green Goblin was great.
Tom, back in the swing.
Don't judge me.
Back in the Tom. Flagellate yourself, Tom. You know what you have done. You monster. All right. Tommy says, No Way Home was fantastic. Made me cheer and cry. Here's a weird question for you. Here's a weird question for those I guess Tommy in chat. Looks like yeah, it's Tommy and Tom. So this is hilarious. Two Toms and a John. Anyway, was any of this movie like shocking to you?
The death of Aunt May. I did not see that coming.
I kind of saw that coming. It makes me very sad because Marissa Tomei is incredible, and
and they had been deflecting it with all of the press junkets beforehand, where she was talking about how she hoped that Aunt May could get a girlfriend in a future movie.
Mm-hmm. But here we are.
Yeah.
Now, and that's something that Marvel has done really well, is they know to control the message. Right? But the internet's full of sleuths, you know? So like you were talking about when we were discussing the No Way Home trailer, you know, you see the lizard, his head turns and someone goes, something has been digitally edited there.
Yeah.
Something is missing. So like when the Spider-Men showed up, lots of folk were like there were audible gasps from a few folks, and I can only guess that those were the people who like either didn't read comic books at all or just like didn't access the internet. You know what I mean? Like, show me what you have. Yeah, for a couple of weeks, the nerdosphere was like, I think they're gonna have a whole bunch of other Spider-Man.
You saw it pretty much opening night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on Christmas Day, so it had been out for a couple of weeks. And people cheered when Andrew Garfield stepped through the portal.
Yeah. Pardon me. People cheered because, you know, our nerd theory was right, and that's incredibly satisfying. But there was also like gasps of surprise. Now, what was stunning to me was not like, oh my gosh, they actually did it. You know, they said multiple Spider-Mans. It was how well they did it that blew my mind.
So this kind of circles back to the original point I was going to make. So the acting was very good, but the thing that I liked the most was how they updated the portrayal of the first two Spider-Men, and especially how they integrated this sort of sadness to them, where they see Tom Holland's Spider-Man, this like he's younger than us, he's us, 10 years ago for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and 20 years ago for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but they're like, we still see ourselves in him. And I really like how they did say it. I mean, it's obviously on the screen because they have their suits on under their clothes, but the implication that, like, with all of the tragedy and complexity and everything that has gone on in their lives as their Peter Parkers, they're still Spider-Man. And they're still doing everything they have to do to be Spider-Man. And that's the thing that Tom Holland's Peter Parker takes home by the end of the movie is it doesn't matter if people know who I am.
Yeah.
Because Peter Parker is less important than Spider-Man is.
Well, not that Peter Parker is less important than Spider-Man, but that Peter Parker makes sacrifices.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I thought that the way that they handled it was genius in a couple of different ways. Which way would you like first? Do you want the as to the comic books or as to the future of the MCU? Right? Like,
let's do comics first, because
okay.
I do want to discuss the future of the MCU.
Narratively, I thought that the decision to not, like, digitally de-age these guys was incredible.
Yes.
Because, like you were saying, these are now all Peter Parkers, and and like Tommy says, the talk of all three Peters nearly broke up. Oh, because these were people that continued to live their lives. Like, we stopped watching. Tobey Maguire after Spider-Man 3, right? But he didn't stop being Spider-Man. We just didn't see those movies. All the stuff still happened. More things still happened. We just weren't around to see them. Right? So Andrew Garfield, and guys, I am certain the two of you have heard me go off before. I did not like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I did not think that landed. His performance was heartbreaking. It was incredibly tragic. And he knocked it out of the park. Tobey Maguire did the whole like middle-aged Peter Parker with the bad back, but like there's like a quiet sad kind of resignation to him, right? But at the same time, he's the one who's the most at peace. But this is somebody who has known loss. He has known the mistakes. He's tangled with the darkest parts of a black suit trilogy and a really awkward jazz dance thing. Like he dealt with an emo haircut, and he has come through on the other side stronger, a little beat up, wiser. And he and Mary Jane, they found a way to make it work.
So I know I brought this up to you over Discord, but I would like to mention it here. I really, really wish that there would have been just a short cameo of Topher Grace's Eddie Brock.
See, now we'll get to this as well here in a little bit, right? This is part of the more MCU future meta thing, right? So buckle up for that, because that's coming. I do. Yeah. Like Tommy says, I do remember you not liking Garfield as Spider-Man. I thought the Amazing Spider-Man series. I thought the first one was great, and the second one was an insult. And this movie did so much to make up for that. This was like the perfect apology.
I loved how they kept hanging the lampshade over how stupid a concept behind he got turned into Electro by falling into a tank full of electric eels was.
And like, man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was pathetic. So bad. Like, There's a great YouTuber, Cosmonaut Variety Hour, has a really great write-up on why exactly the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is an insult to comics fans, just in general, and an insult to moviegoers as a whole. Like, it wasn't until I would watch Batman versus Superman that I would ever feel so insulted by a company. There's the loot. All right, a thing over here, wasn't it? So like I'm not a fan of Garfield's Spider-Man until now. Well, you got me. Andrew Garfield put in an incredible performance as a guy who watched his girlfriend die and lost himself in being a superhero and has not really talked to people for a long while. There's a reason why he's the first one that they find, and that's because they're looking for Spider-Man. He stopped being Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It hurt too much. He never got over the death of Gwen Stacy.
There were stairs. I think you can climb stairs to get in there.
Well, we've come too far. I think outside the box. No, there were stairs. Okay, I got some emerald dust. I hope that's useful. And a Divan runestone that I don't know what it does. All right.
And while I still think it would have been pretty hilarious to have a Spider-Gwen cameo in the movie, I do get what you said when you'd mentioned to me on Discord that she wasn't in this because this is a Peter Parker story.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, the only people who get pulled through are the people who know Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
In Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
He doesn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So why don't we see Topher Grace as Eddie Brock?
Because if he came through into that world, he would do everything in his power to not be near Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. You know, like... He would
get the hell away as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Especially because somebody else has the symbiote. Right? Now think about this. It was not Eddie Brock who went through the portal and showed up in the after credits scene. The last member of the Sinister Six was off getting hammered in a bar in Mexico, trying to figure out where he was the entire time. Right? Trying to figure out why Tony Stark is a thing.
That was such a hilarious scene.
Okay, but like as far as after credits scenes, and I'm gonna pause it because this is a cool point, and this wasn't something that hit me until like a day afterwards, right? Eddie Brock did not know a thing about what was going on in this world. And he certainly didn't know Peter Parker. He didn't know a high schooler. Right? Peter Parker's a New York photographer, even in even if let's say that Venom's from like the Topher Grace iteration, right? He's a photographer in New York, but this Eddie Brock operates out of San Francisco. Right? You tracking with me so far, Tom?
Yeah, it means that the symbiote is who knows Peter Parker.
Means the symbiote is who knows Peter Parker. When did the symbiote know Peter Parker?
Spider-Man 3?
In Spider-Man 3, when it was attached to Topher Grace. The symbiote remembers. The symbiote is the first crossover from all of these. It knows what all the other symbiotes know. That's part of the whole symbiote thing. It's having memories from alternate reality versions of itself, and so it left a piece of itself behind. It's going to try and kill Peter Parker.
Which, you know, that's going to be fun.
Right. And with Tom Holland's Parker, it's going to come out of nowhere. Right. The symbiote is transdimensional. Now, here's where it gets... a very big siren. Here's where it's going to get, like super bonkers, right? Is that, like, from a meta standpoint, this is the most insane, profit-grabbing, like... I don't think people have yet come to the realization of what Disney and Sony have just done.
Yeah.
They have said, hey, you know how these guys kept being Peter Parker even after their movies ended? Y'all want that amazing Spider-Man 3? Y'all want Sam Raimi to direct Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire? Y'all want these characters to come back? We can do that now. If you had a favorite Spider-Man, we own the rights. We've got the money. We're making all of these guys money. We can tell any Spider-Man story we want. And if it doesn't fit in one universe, we will put it in another. That's what they're careening towards with the Multiverse of Madness. I guarantee it. Like, so, mark this on your calendar. They have already crossed the streams. Peter Parker has a very good lawyer.
So, not just Multiverse of Madness, but Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the newest trailer for Morbius, I assume, because it was before Spider-Man.
Sure did.
So, Daily Bugle newspaper from the Sam Raimi universe.
Mm-hmm.
Oscorp building from Andrew Garfield's universe.
Uh-huh. And he says, I'm Venom, blah.
And they mention the San Francisco incident.
Yep, which is Venom.
And this is very obviously also occurring in the conventional MCU. So Morbius is like a mashup of all of the universes crunched into one.
Which is, would you like my prediction on that?
Go ahead.
Across the Spider-Verse is going to slam them all together. Across the Spider-Verse will be the vehicle through which they do that. That is my prediction. It is a beautifully executed narrative way of basically saying we're gonna make whatever kind of movie we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're going backwards.
Yeah, I'm going the wrong way, but I'm having difficulty. Oh, I've got to do platforming crap.
I mean, no ladder bosses.
Yeah, but I've got, like, jumps. I'm also not good at jumps. Okay. Yeah! Got a diagram for an Ursine crossbow. Hooray for me. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. So I think that they're going to smash them all together with the second Spider-Verse movie. I think that like as much as I adore like the fan service aspect of a lot of this stuff. Like I was telling Tom earlier, like, no, they shouldn't have had live-action Spider-Gwen in this movie. They should not have had live-action Miles Morales in this movie. That needs its own movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I love the character of Miles Morales. It is still, I would say, easily argued for debate over whether No Way Home or Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie. Right? Like, I can see the arguments for either of them. Are these explodey barrels?
Yes.
These are explodey barrels.
If you hit them with Igni, they will explode.
That sounds like I need to hit them with Igni. Yeah, I feel like Miles will get his own movie in a few years. Oh, that's a trail of gunpowder. Can I just, like, set off the whole reaction? No, not quite. Oh. Yep, a little bit more. There we go. Yo, what's up, nerds? There we go. Alright. It's a whole drowner palooza down here.
Kill him.
Alright, my controller went all wonky for a second there. Alright, there we go. But yeah, it's a hard decision because they're both such excellent films, but, like, they tell such different stories, right?
Yeah.
And that's that's the exciting thing for me, right? The fact that they are unifying all of this under, like, one production company is still just, like, bonkers to me. We see Daredevil in No Way Home. We see Kingpin in Hawkeye.
Do you want to hear my theory about that?
Hit me with it.
I think Deadpool. I think Daredevil is going to come back in She-Hulk. Mm-hmm. And I think part of the plot in She-Hulk is going to be She-Hulk prosecuting Kingpin and Kingpin manipulating Daredevil into being his lawyer.
I could probably see that. I think that there's a whole bucket of worms that was opened up for She-Hulk by this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like Murdoch says, like, hey, we're kind of treading on, like, weird ground here, right? Like, superhero law. The last time we tried this was the Sokovia Accords, and that ended somewhat tragically.
Yeah. We can't just keep shoving people on the raft.
Right. Like, this is a relatively new occurrence, and law works real slowly, so there's going to be a lot of, like, burgeoning lawyers making a name for themselves, prosecuting and defending these superhero cases. This is a chance for lawyers to make precedent. And that's what I think one of the big pushes for She-Hulk is going to be. I think that Matt Murdock will definitely show up, or Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock will definitely show up. I think that Daredevil will show up as a background character in Echo.
Yeah,
if I have my way.
That would be a very interesting interplay.
Mm-hmm.
The blind superhero and the deaf superhero teaming up.
That was where Echo initially debuted. Was in Daredevil. Stunning art by David Mack on that run, by the way. Like absolutely gorgeous art. All right, let's go collect our reward from Kevin. I think that there is a chance that we will see the Defenders again, and like this is where it gets a little bit weird in terms of oh, wrong one. In terms of like recasting, yes or no, right? I think that they will bring back Luke Cage and Iron Fist. And my hope is that they get Mike Coulter.
Yeah.
Because Mike Coulter was perfect. Perfect.
Jessica Jones.
As Luke Cage. They are not going to lose Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. Right? I think that we're going to see, like the next time that we'll see Iron Fist will probably be in Shang-Chi 2. That is my prediction.
So last week, did we talk about Thunderbolts?
I think we did briefly. Right? Like this is the gang's all here, man.
So I really am hoping that they end up doing a Thunderbolts series, because that gives us a team led by Baron Zemo, which we just need more of him. He needs to be in more things.
Yeah.
Put him in every MCU movie. I don't care. Give him a line or two. He will steal the scene. Yelena Belova on the team, because Florence Pugh has already said she's not going to be an Avenger.
Right. Here is my question to you, Tom. Do you have a pitch for this storyboard?
I don't know enough about the Thunderbolts comics to be able to come up with a good story that would be based on their series. But what I would really like to see is former villains doing superhero things badly.
Okay.
Like, I want to see a team completely made up of characters who were villains in other Marvel movies and series, coming together to try and be good guys and just not really getting it, like having a really tough time with it.
Interesting. So there's like two different kind of like groups going on, right? There's the Thunderbolts, and also like the Dark Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Which is what you would put guys like John Walker in, right? Yeah.
Found an older echidna in a cave on the shore.
Here's what I want to see. I want to see Valentina, right? The manipulator who got to Belova at the end of Black Widow.
Yeah, the Contessa, and got to John Walker at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep. I want to see the Contessa. Would I mind telling Britt what happened to her betrothed? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Fine. I'll talk to her. It's the least she
I want to see that team, right? Now, who would you place on that team?
Farewell.
I'd put John Walker on that team. I'd put the Yelena as the new Black Widow on that team. Who else? Like, if you tell Mordo that he gets a shot at Strange, he'll join.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, depending on how Multiverse of Madness goes, just straight up evil Strange could be on the team.
Maybe. You would have to bust the Abomination out, and we're not sure like where his mindset is right now, but he could make he could be your anti-Hulk. Right? So basically, the Dark Avengers is just the Avengers controlled by a shadow government.
So this is speculation, and I know this speculation has been like going on in the MCU community for literally a decade now.
Oh yeah,
but there is strong evidence that the Contessa is working for Mephisto.
I mean, everybody's working for Mephisto.
True, but like,
don't bother with Mephisto. We'll see Mephisto when Ghost Rider comes back around. We're not there yet. You got time.
In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Contessa has a pin on her lapel that is for one of Mephisto's shell companies. So strong Mephisto vibes, and I am just going to put this out there: Keanu Reeves.
Negative, Ghost Rider. Pattern is full.
Please,
no, do not put Keanu Reeves as Mephisto. Come on, he's better than that.
But he could play evil so well.
Devil's Advocate might prove otherwise. I like the idea of Keanu Reeves. I saw this on Twitter earlier. I like the idea of Keanu Reeves as the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Just have him.
Yeah. That was my initial.
Just have him hold up the.
I think he would be yes, go full on surfer persona.
Yeah, well, I mean, like get into the navel gazing philosophy, a la the Matrix. That's perfect for the Silver Surfer. That's his whole jam. He flies through space and thinks about how heavy it is that the planets that he finds must die.
So I was pitching this idea to my friends at a thing on Christmas Eve, and they were like, yes, this is absolutely what needs to happen. So the multiverse is broken. We got Kang the Conqueror in the multiverse causing all of his normal Kang shenanigans.
He who endures.
We got variants all over the place. When they do the Fantastic Four movie, they need to not do another origin story. Like, don't go into... People know the origin of the Fantastic Four at this point.
Yeah, you got hit with cosmic rays.
Just jump, opening scene of the movie, jump straight into the Council of Reeds and let it go from there.
The Rick and Morty fandom will be insufferable.
But so... One of the ideas that I had when I was like talking this idea with my friends was started off with the Council of Reeds and have them be in another dimension in the multiverse, and the Fantastic Four come through into our dimension. That's why they don't have an origin story. That's why Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four haven't been in quote-unquote our universe, is because they don't exist in our universe. They come through from another one.
That is a fantastic idea, Tom. I think that that pretty much mirrors my prediction for how they will eventually
so this building
bring in
you
the
won't
X-Men.
be able to get in. You won't be able to get into this building until you come back for that Witcher hunt.
Yeah, no, clearly not.
And it gonna be real creepy.
All right, where's my?
I think there's a couple more things around here if you want to like look for locations.
I was trying to get around to this. Like, this was the building where I just was. Okay, so it's further up that trail then. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a trail.
Yeah, it's
there's a trail
the back
that
of the
loops around the back of the house. Okay. So I'd be up here. So so do I have to get through that beforehand?
I need it to catch up for a second, but it's possible.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Tommy. We do this every Monday, baby. You know where we hang out. So, we'll wait for Tom to catch up. I will refresh my beverage real fast. We've been talking a lot this episode. We're going to talk some more, because, man, it's just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
How important are the Eternals to you, Tom?
What do you mean, spoiler-wise?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Were you like a giant fan of the original Jack Kirby run, or
I've never read any of the comics, but
nobody has. Nobody's favorite superhero team was the Eternals. People went, "What is this? Some kind of New Gods ripoff?" Yeah. Same guy, telling the same kind of stories. It didn't work at Marvel, so Kirby took it to DC. And Marvel keeps trying to like reinvigorate it, and man, that is an uphill battle. How much would you be down for me giving away?
I mean, I know vaguely like some of the things that will come up later. Like I know the Black Knight gets teased. Yeah, you're gonna have to go through the building, so it'll come up during that quest.
That's what, Contract Dragon? No.
It is a Witcher contract, but it is. Keep going down.
Missing Brother?
Scroll.
That's Velen.
No.
Missing Son.
It's none of those. You haven't gotten it yet.
No, I got it at the thing, didn't I? With the
No, it's none of those quests. You haven't gotten this Witcher hunt.
Oh.
So I know that the Eternals sets up the fact that like Celestials are going to be a problem in the future.
That's the important bit, right? Like, we don't have to things are already cosmic. We've already got the Guardians of the Galaxy doing their thing, which things are already wacky there. You know, like there's an infinite number of ways that oh. I guess I can search the ruin of Clan Tiersik's castle? I don't know where that goes. So there's a cave entrance there. Is that the one that I couldn't get to earlier, or? No, that's the one that I did go to earlier.
Yeah, that was the cave where you fought that. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can go here, right?
That clump of buildings on the end of the peninsula is probably something.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hoof it over there. But yeah, Celestials are already a problem. Not going to be. It's already a thing that's getting weird. But we'll catch up more on this after you've seen Eternals. Man, these writers are leaving themselves all the rope that they need to like really tie everything together. Right? Like, so good it couldn't even mix a metaphor. I'm really impressed with how big picture Feige is. Like, man, this guy is juggling the ideas so deftly. Now, with that being said, like, I understand that comic movies and especially the MCU, like, aren't everybody's cup of tea. And this goes all the way back to, like, the very first point that I somewhat unsuccessfully made. I can't watch the Eternals and go, oh, this is a good movie, or oh, this is a good sci-fi fantasy movie, or oh, this is a good, you know, like, weird, trippy, cosmic, philosophical movie. I look at it and go, yeah, but is it a good Eternals movie? The answer, yes. I thought that the Eternals was a very good Eternals movie. I know that there are a lot of people that they're like, I hate this. I think that this is dumb. And the answer is yes. The Eternals are kind of dumb. Like,
I mean, I did kind of get that vibe just watching the trailer.
Yeah, like, it's gonna get weird. Bear with it, and it's gonna complicate a lot of other things in the Marvel universe because you have the same kind of problems that you did with Wonder Woman, right? Which is, if there is a superhero that is ostensibly a, you know, a defender of what is good and what is right, where were they during the Holocaust? Right? If Diana actually beat up war itself, you know, at the end of the Great War, then why did we have another one? Where were the Eternals during all of these conflicts? The first question that everybody started asking was, why didn't the Eternals come help when Thanos snapped half the world away? Well, watch. If you're in the right kind of mind frame, you'll get it. You'll understand why. New marker, the town of Hove. Hello, welcome to Hove.
It seems like a nice place.
Right, that lady just called me a vagabond. That seems kind of absolutely unnecessary. Cast leaden balls.
There's a raid, not some devil. So what do we do? Go to the Druids?
Yeah, go to the Druids.
Druids aren't any good with wraiths.
Druids suck with wraiths.
Suppose you're best. Such a gob. He's better than any. That's a witcher there. Listen, it's our arena. We got a raid that haunts it. Damned if we know how to drive it off. Do you think you could manage?
Yeah.
This wraith, I can probably manage it. Need the details.
What do you want to know?
Kind of wraith are we talking about?
Know anything about this specter?
My granddad told me His granddad said the rate was called Ula the Unlucky. Lost every bout he entered, yet always recovered from his wounds.
Sounds more like a werewolf.
Ula weren't even able to die like a man.
Till one day, Jarl
Oh.
called a tournament in the arena.
This is a quest I never figured out how to deal with.
Oh.
And the Jarl drew Ula the Unlucky. Jarl was cocksure he'd win.
Okay, so I feel like I need to pay attention on this.
Ridiculed him till all in the stands were crying with laughter. Finally, he raised his arms in triumph, and that's when Ula, who couldn't take it no more,
couldn't take it no more.
in his back.
As he died, Thoma cursed Ula. May ye lose again and again for centuries on end. That's what he said. Ever since, Ula's haunted the arena, looking for a fight and getting
In about 10 minutes, I'll have to get going. Cause,
Yeah, we'll end it a little early tonight, but
bugger keeps coming back though.
Daniel's getting back soon, so
Fights precisely 'cause of that.
we will
An arena. Like any
we'll
other.
keep this one on the back burner and go figure in. Yeah, Spickaroo.
Bouts were famous all across Gallagher.
Then one day a wraith showed up.
How did you know?
Told you. He's a witcher.
You just told me the story, genius.
All right. Could try my
I'm dealing with a couple of schmatties here.
Not for free, though.
Get it done, and we'll pay you the champion's purse.
And a premium from our earnings to come. Once the fighting begins, after the curse is lifted.
Oh, sure you're not getting carried away there?
All right.
A little lie, but fuck it. Witcher gets rid of the ring.
I like this dude.
So be it. One time only, though.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to come back here. All right. Find a way to send Ula to the afterlife.
Oh, another. Prepare to defeat the ghost of the arena. Be my guest. Come to face the ghost of the arena. Don't be shy. I'll defeat Ula the Unlucky.
Okay.
Spare me your jabber.
I've tried this a
Price
whole
of
bunch of
dying,
different ways.
and
Can't
I
figure out how to
shall
do it.
defeat you. Spectre of the arena. I've heard them all 1,000 times. Dreadful sick of them.
You're no typical wraith.
Why not? Because I don't shriek threats and warn you.
I like this dude.
Simple enough. I'm bored of that.
I like this guy. Yeah. Okay, yeah, do it.
You'll spit out some insults, pierce me with your sword, and I'll then disappear, only to be back here again in a few days. And it'll be so with those who come after you. But there's my fate. I'm to tarry here till the world
Oh, he's so sad.
in every fate along the way.
I love him.
But you've not come to chat. Draw it, swing it, get to work and defeat the ghost of the arena.
No, man.
Not gonna be any fight.
Have it your way. If not, you. Come on. Come closer. Don't be afeard. You're sure to win. Come to face.
So I gotta lose to this guy.
Weapon.
Draw in. We'll make it quick. And not too much drama if you don't mind.
Bad idea.
Maybe? I never tried that.
Gotta think outside the box, son. You got Dark Souls. Or not Dark Souls. You gotta do the opposite of Dark Souls.
I defeated you.
Seems so. Congratulations.
But I was to lose till the end of time. What's that? I hear laughter. and joyous cries. The clanking
Onward
of
to
the
Valhalla,
chalices
you
and a
unlucky bastard.
voice summoning me to the feast of heroes.
If only I had realized it was that easy.
You let me win.
I don't know. This is also the kind of guy who'd be like, "Psych,
The gods be with you.
you jerk."
Farewell, Ghost.
Yep. There you go, boys.
Ghost shouldn't pester you anymore. Drinking meat with his ancestors by now.
I knew you'd manage it. Well, Gunnar, you're winning.
Here.
You bet on it?
Should have seen it. I said you'd pull it off. Gunnar said there weren't a chance. That's why he's got that sheep's arse.
See that frown often when it's time for me to get paid.
You needn't fret. We're honorable folk here. This is for you.
And remember, you get a cut of the earnings once we get the arena up and running again.
This dude's my bro.
So long.
I can return to the Spickaroog Arena later to collect my percent of the earnings. I think that is a fantastic stopping point, don't you, Tom?
Sure.
Yeah, hey. So now you can boot up your old Witcher 3 save file and go get your ass handed to you by a level 14 ghost.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna raid this house. Got $20 in my pocket.
Never met a house you wouldn't rob. And never met a rob you wouldn't house.
Right? It's true. I have not yet met a Rob that I would not let couch surf for a little while. I'm gonna investigate this village before I dip, though.
Well, while you are doing that, I'm going to head out because I have got to get up early in the morning.
Yeah. Well, anything else? Anything else going on with you, Tom? Anything you wanna shout out or promote?
Nah, I'm good.
Next week, you and I, my boy, are overdue a very specific topic of conversation that I will preface with the following. Mea culpa, Tom. I owe you an apology because when you're right, and when you're right, you're real right. And Arcane was very, very good. And I regret the holding out for several weeks that I did, despite your counsel. I was a fool. I prostrate myself before thee and beg forgiveness.
Like, your principles weren't wrong. Like, League of Legends is terrible.
Yeah.
And its community is made up of garbage people. But Arcane was amazing.
Indeed. And we shall go in depth about that because I cannot stop thinking about that show. From a narrative and like visual standpoint. I can't stop thinking about it.
I don't know if you did any like research on any of the characters or anything like that while you were watching the show, but practically every single major character on that show is a champion in the game.
I did not do that research, but I know a couple of things. And we will get to that next week. We will do this again. This has been another edition of me playing The Witcher. It's an old game. I never played it. Now I have the time because I'm unemployed. Work sucks. Your boss needs to pay you more money. Get organized. Join a union if you can. And hey, look, we're all going to be communists eventually. You may as well get in before it's popular. We'll see you guys next time. Be nice out there. And, hey, Merry Christmas. If you missed it, currently, Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah, if you're watching this in the future and, you know, you missed it out. And next week, Happy New Year, 2022. Maybe it won't suck as bad, but who knows? We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.